Coming up next on the Friday Sports Riot, we have Marty Brooks, the host of the Thunder 94.5 morning show in Grand Rapids. He is the official sport analyst for HoppiesWorld.com. So check it out, and check him out right now on the Friday Sports Riot. He's put a few touchdowns on the board and make it competitive.
I'm not going to put this all on Jay Cutler. I think it's all on, first off, the Bears' offensive line looked bad. In fact, I was listening to the radio on my way in on Sunday, and everyone kept touting about how great Matt Forte is, which is true. Matt Forte is great. He had 2 blocks that he completely just botched that ended up being sacks.
And just real quick, I just see it as like, I feel like he could have at least put some points up, because, yeah, he had like 240 yards. But he had, like, no touchdowns. Like, I just want to see him at least put up 3 points. Obviously, you're not going to match the 51 points scored by the Philadelphia Eagles. But it's like he could have at least tried to make the game sort of competitive.
No, I think so, too. But you know what? I'm going to say this. I don't like to blame refs for a lot of calls, but there were a lot of missed calls in Sunday night's game. There were calls that should have been going against the offensive line for the Eagles and holding. There was also pass interference calls or the illegal, touch down the field. There were a lot of calls that seemed to be missed, and that obviously didn't help the Bears at all either. So I think, all in all, it was almost like it was supposed to be a game that we were supposed to lose. So you know what? Should the offense have played better? Oh gosh, yeah. The defense, that's where it all starts, is the defense. I mean, how many times did they have McCoy in the backfield and they couldn't come up with a tackle?
Right.
I just don't know what else to say. And, there were a few amazing catches, but what are you going to do about it? That's just the way it is. And I think I almost feel like the NFL planned this. They said the Bears are going out there and get their butts kicked, and then they're going to have to play the Packers on Sunday, because that's going to, tons of people will be watching that game, and they'll be watching the Cowboys and the Eagles play. So, gosh, if you're the NFL, it seems like a perfect scenario for you in your last week of the football season.
That's what I've been saying. I'm not saying that the refs are changing calls and making bad calls just because they want it to be Packers and Bears and then Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. But I'm just saying, I think they sometimes make these calls so that it's much easier to have a Week 17. Because at the end of the day, Marty, it's all about how these teams can make money and ratings.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, let's go back to the McCoy when I think it was the start of the third quarter in the opening drive for the Eagles in the third quarter, and McCoy fumbled the ball. Now, okay, that call could have gone either way, but how many times would you see that call in a normal football game that probably would have just stayed put? They wouldn't have overturned it because there really wasn't enough evidence. It seemed to be like a bang-bang play. All right, you tell me that it took 10 minutes to look under the hood, and then you change the call on that? I don't know. That's a little conspiracy I have going on right now.
Now, Nick Foles came in about 3 games or so into the season after Michael Vick got hurt, and do you think that he's a one-year wonder, or has he figured out the offense with Chip Kelly?
No, I think Nick Foles didn't have enough pressure in his face. Nick Foles, he's a good quarterback. There's no doubt about it. But, time will tell. I mean, look at the Kaepernick. Kaepernick's not having an amazing season. So all these guys that tend to have their RG3 was another one. Didn't have a great start of 2013. And I think, remember, the NFL will learn. They always say, even in basketball and in baseball, when in baseball, everyone's talking about Tonka. Guess what? All right, maybe the first time you're up to bat, you're going to strike out, but you're going to face him 2-3 times possibly in the season. You're going to start catching up, and that's kind of how the NFL works. Eventually, you're not going to be as successful as you think you are.
Moving on to the game on Sunday, and it's a huge game, obviously. What was your take on Aaron Rodgers being announced that he'll come back to play and he'll start Sunday?
As much as I hate the Packers, next to the biggest Bears fan, I think it's a stupid move. All it does is take one tackle, and is Aaron Rodgers going to be back next year?
Right.
Everyone says, oh, now that Aaron Rodgers is back, they're going to win a Super Bowl, or they have their contenders. Their defense is horrible. Their defense may be even worse than the Bears, especially now that Matthews is out. To me, it seems like a waste. Why risk your franchise quarterback just to hopefully make the playoffs? Is it worth it? It's not like you have a team that is Super Bowl caliber. Can they compete against Carolina? Can they compete against the Saints? San Francisco? No, they can't. So I don't think that's much. and there's going to be a lot of rust with Aaron Rodgers, a lot of rust. And if I'm Mel Tucker, I'm going to blitz the heck out of him and just go after him left and right and make him feel even more uncomfortable.
Marty, what is the chance that Aaron Rodgers will get hurt and let's just say tears his ACL? I'm not predicting that this will happen. I don't want it to even happen because I like having this whole rivalry, Jay versus Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers owns it. But what's the chance that something horrible happens and it's just like RG3 or Derrick Rose where they just weren't ready? Because he hasn't played since the beginning of November.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised. He's not ready. All right. Why did it? I mean, obviously they said, I think they announced it at 8-something on Thursday morning to the team that he was going to be playing. But why did it take so long?
Yes.
You know, are you trying to play a game with Chicago? That's fine. Go play a game with us. I mean, you're going to prepare for Aaron Rodgers no matter what because he's going to play. But I don't think he's ready. It's a collarbone. All he needs to do is take one hit or fall to the ground, and what's going to happen next? So, all in all, I think it's a dumb move. Everyone's predicting that it seems like the Packers are going to win. But between Rodgers, you have Lacey hurt, you have, and Lacey I think is going to play from what I understand, which is fine. Let Lacey play. Again, why are you risking his health again where something bad can happen next season? You know, that would affect your season next year. Also, Matthew's out. So there's so many factors that are going in. Cobb's not going to be playing this week either. So there's so many factors that are going in, and it's like, what are you risking, and why are you risking it to go and just try to win against the Bears and hopefully make the playoffs? I don't understand it. I think it's a stupid move. And in fact, if Aaron Rodgers does get hit, hurt, I think it's to be laughable because guess what? It seems like the bad luck that the Bears have always had, or the NFC North besides the Packers, that maybe this is like the karma ready to come back.
Marty, I've been listening to some radio shows up there in like Milwaukee and Madison, and these guys will call in and just rip Aaron Rodgers and call him these awful words and just say like, oh, he's a wussy, this and that. Do you think that he's coming back not just because he wants to lead the green and yellow into the playoffs, but also because there's a ton of pressure up there in Wisconsin for him to win this?
Living up in Wisconsin for a few months, they love their Packers and they love Aaron Rodgers. But I think if you were to tell a Packer fan, hey, guess what, he's not ready to come back, and would you rather have him for the rest of his career or just for the next few years because of nagging injuries that are going to occur? I mean, it happened with Cutler. Cutler came back early. We saw that this year. He came back early in that Lions game, and what happens if he actually did sit down until 2 weeks ago? Or maybe come back 3 weeks prior to this? What would happen? I don't know. I just don't understand why you're riding Aaron Rodgers because, I mean, Cutler, let's be honest. I don't care what anybody says. Cutler has taken some beatings for the Chicago Bears, absolute beatings. And that guy gets back up. He may have trouble getting back up sometimes, but guess what? He's right under center the next snap. And it takes a toll. And I think that's what's happened over the past few years, getting beaten up, that now, he's hurting. And Aaron Rodgers, he's been sacked quite a bit. Even last year he was sacked quite a bit. So those hits, they add up. So again, why are you risking it? Why call him a wimp? The man is unbelievable. He's a great quarterback. In fact, I think someone compared him to the greatest quarterback in the NFL, which I don't know if that person was smoking because they have him at Peyton Manning, apparently. So Aaron Rodgers, is he a good quarterback? Yes. Is he a great quarterback? Yes. Is he the best quarterback in the NFL? No. And that's the dreamers of the northern border we call Wisconsin, which almost is like going into Canada because people just somehow change when you go past that little border there.
And now, real quick, who do you think is the best quarterback in the NFL?
Hands down, Peyton Manning. Tom Brady's good. I don't think Tom Brady's great. I think Peyton Manning is the next level. The guy can do it all. There's no one better. In fact, I would put Cutler even in your top 7. He would definitely be in the top 10, but I'd put him in the top 7. I know we're like, oh, why not top 5? I think you still have to, outdo Wilson, and you have to outdo Drew Brees and Peyton Manning and a few others. But, yeah, I think Peyton Manning is the number 1 quarterback in the NFL.
So if you could pinpoint a couple things that the Bears need to do to win the game, what would those things be?
They're going to have to run the ball. They kind of got away from it because they got so far down against Philadelphia that they couldn't really run the ball. Because you needed to get yardage quick and fast and score points fast, and we just couldn't do that. So it's going to be running the ball, and I think clock management is going to be key keep the defense off field, sustain long drives, even if, you're talking, 5 to 7 minute drives and you only get a field goal out of that, that's fine. You just need to make sure you get sustainable drives to keep Aaron Rodgers. Let him continue to rust up on the sideline. Let the offense or the defense for the Bears sit on the sideline. Just get these long, sustainable drives. And if I'm the Bears, I think I receive the ball first in the first quarter. Take the ball, drive it down the field, make Aaron Rodgers feel like he has more pressure on him to score points.
This is the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTownChicago.com. If you want to call the show and ask Marty Brooks a question, call us. 630-403-5200. That's 630-403-5200. Okay, we have to take a quick break, but we will come back and wrap everything up with Marty. After this, we will be right back. Hang on.
Kane is in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's up? This is the Friday Sports Riot. I'm Ryan Hoppy.
I am Ryan Stuppridge.
If you want to listen to the show, it's not hard. Just get the TuneIn radio app and search up SportsTownChicago.com or SportsTownChicago.com. Call the show. 630-403-5200. That's 630-403-5200. And on the phone line, we have from Thunder 94.5. It's the second part of his segment. We have Marty Brooks. What's up, Marty?
What's up? Nothing, guys. Hey, real quick, I had this debate with my family on Sunday. I need you to settle this. In the Green Bay Steelers game, Pittsburgh had the ball on the 3-yard line, 2-yard line?
Yeah.
I think there was like a minute 45 left in the game, and I thought that they should have taken a knee because, remember, Green Bay had no timeouts.
Right.
None. So why wouldn't you take the knee and maybe, as soon as you get down to like 30 seconds left, 25, try to run a play, 2 plays, see if you get in, or to go for a field goal for the win. I mean, I don't know. That was my thoughts on the game. Maybe I want to hear what you guys thought.
Matt Flynn just looked out of sync on that last drive. Like, I'm not saying that he's the best quarterback and that we should expect him to make a touchdown, but he overthrew it in the end zone. It was like, why aren't you using Eddie Lacy? Like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't the best Pittsburgh defense ever. Like, it just seemed like he was letting the clock run down too much. Like, if that was Aaron Rodgers, Marty, that would have been a for sure touchdown.
Oh, easily. But yeah, I was just curious. I think Pittsburgh should have taken a knee and keep the game-winning field goal.
That's what I thought,
I didn't really like the play of waiting and let's score as fast as we can and let's let Green Bay drive down the field. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make any sense to me either because, especially for the Packers side, they could have spiked the ball and set up an actual play instead of just letting the clock run and then having to scramble so fast and then throw a pass that was overthrown. So, yeah.
I guess that's why Matt Flynn's not playing this weekend. But let's just say, let's just be honest. No one in the NFC North deserves to even be in the playoffs right now. Whether you're the Bears, the Lions, the Vikings, or the Packers, nobody belongs in that league right now. I feel like we're here's the thing. We were all beat up. And the NFC North was very beat up this season, very beat up. So, I almost feel like we were the NFC West a few years ago.
Oh my God,
you're going to get in by being like 6-7 or 6-8, whatever you want to possibly think you possibly should be. And so that's what the NFC North is this year. So I think give it a few years. Watch the NFC North grow into another big powerhouse.
Do you think that will be with Jake Cutler as quarterback or not?
I do. I think I don't. You know what? Here's the thing. I've got a lot of riff for this, and I think Cutler is the Bears' answer. The guy has a great arm. He's not dumb. He plays well. He plays well under pressure. He's had some game-winning drives. But the guy got beat up, That happens. That's expected to happen. Is he Peyton Manning? No, he's not Peyton Manning. But he's not going to be Peyton Manning. He is a Brett Favre-type player. The guy's already broken Sid Luckman's record. And we're talking about, we don't need him. We should just get rid of him. He's just nothing but a headache. Come on.
But
That's where Bears fans don't think. Look at our quarterbacks of the past. Jim McMahon, not a great quarterback. Jim Miller, he was good. Kyle Orton was probably one of the better ones that we've had over the past 15 years.
Yeah.
What do you think about Sid Luckman's record? Because, yes, it's very respectable that Jay broke it. I mean, we can't throw 16,000 yards in an NFL career on the Bears. But what I'm getting at is, don't you think if Sid Luckman played now, he'd have 45,000 yards?
I don't know. Well, obviously back then the league was mainly running, but the Bears have been a big running team. You go back. I mean, we had some of the greatest running backs of all time, and we've always been a run-first team. And now we're a pass-first, run-second team, and we have some of the greatest weapons in the NFL. The best duo between Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall in the game, and even Martellus Bennett or the other Bennett. I mean, you have Bennett. You have Jeffries, and you have Marshall. What else could you ask for?
So, just really quick, do you think what do you think the final score will be?
Gosh, in this game, this is such a coin flip because I don't think I've looked at the experts, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I think the Bears come out on top. First off, I think this is a big game for Cutler. This is a huge game for him. He's playing for his contract this weekend on Sunday. And I think we'll find out what kind of does he fold under pressure. I mean, we've seen him do some amazing fourth-quarter drives. But this is a different Cutler that I think you're going to see. Are you going to see a blowout? I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Aaron Rodgers. Is Eddie Lacy going to be okay to play? Right now I believe he's going to play. But he has a sprained ankle, and the ankle that's been bothering him all year long. I mean, we saw him limp off the field last week. And Starks is a good running back. There's no doubt about it. But guess what? The Bears, I think, have gotten somewhat better on the defense side of the ball. Granted, it didn't show last week, but you have Ratliff. You have a few other players that have now been able to play for the past few weeks that have gotten somewhat better. I mean, the Bears didn't get into the backfield of the Eagles with just by walking over there. They had to fight their way back there. So I think this is a different Bears defense. Lance Briggs, he's going to have a second week back. Hopefully he plays a lot better. So I think, and here's the other thing. The Bears defense has something to prove. They got embarrassed last week. And now this, hopefully, maybe by them getting creamed last week, this might have lit a little fire underneath their rear ends and maybe get them going.
I thought that was a great point, that this is for Jay Cutler's legacy. I mean, there are many people who are saying, well, the Bears know if they're going to bring him back or not. That might be true, Marty, but this is just for us Bears fans. Can we trust him in the clutch? Marty, he's 1-7 all time against the Packers, and the one time he beat them was because they had like 14 penalties in that game. So
yeah.
I just think this game will prove us, is Jay Cutler, is Cuddy, the guy who can lead us to the promised land.
I think so. I don't want to see him. I know Tennessee's interested in having him as their quarterback, and they want him as his quarterback. I want him as our quarterback. I like the guy. You know what? Everyone, you can talk about how great maybe this football class is going to be in the college football realm, but guess what? Cutler's been there. He has an arm that only quarterbacks could dream of. And then we sit there and we compare him to other people, and it's like, hold on, how about you look at Matthew Stafford? That guy's an embarrassment. If we had Matthew Stafford, I'd say, oh my gosh, I wish we had Matt Flynn. I just don't understand why everybody kind of gets up on him. Is he a great quarterback? Yes. Is he the most amazing quarterback? No. He is a great quarterback. And, God, I was so excited when the Bears got him from Denver. Granted, we gave up a little too much. But I think you're going to see this weekend. I think you're going to see the true Jay Cutler. I think you're going to see Brandon Marshall have a good game. Alshon Jeffrey. I think the offense is going to be on fire. The defense, hey, they just need to make a few stops to stop the Packers a few times. That's all they have to do, and the Bears will win this game. I think the Bears are probably going to win 31-21.
And now, real quick, before we let you go, have you seen Matt's girlfriend? I know she went on like a whole tweeting rampage when she got mad that all the Lion fans were mad at him during the game. But he may be a kind of a bust for a first overall pick. But, man, he has a hot girlfriend, Marty.
Oh, God, she's gorgeous. I don't know where he found her, how much he has to pay for her, but, man, she is gorgeous. I mean, there's not too many pretty things you can find in Detroit. He must have looked under a few of those abandoned buildings and found her. So, yeah, you know what? The Lions are horrible. The Vikings are horrible. If you're Adrian Peterson, are you not looking to try to get traded?
Yeah, I mean, why would he want to be on that team? Christian Ponder, once again, what is it about the NFC North and these bad quarterbacks getting hot wives? He has a hot wife, too. All these quarterbacks are bad, and I just don't see Adrian Peterson wanting to be in that team much longer. He's in his prime right now.
No, he is in his prime. He only got a few more years left, and if he sustains another big injury, I don't think you'll see Adrian Peterson around because that's all they have. And you can't keep handing the ball off to Adrian Peterson 50 times a game. So, but of course he has to pay for all of his baby mama's babies. So, he might want to hold on to that contract.
So, before you go, where can you be found online?
Hey, you can always find me online at thunder945.com, or you can tweet at me at Marty Radio, or you can always find me at Facebook, facebook.com/Marty Radio.
And Marty, before we let you go, I don't know if you saw it, but I just bought my media network, so now it's hoppiesworld.com. So that site is growing every single day.
Oh, to go check it out. Make sure to check it out. Also, I want to remind you, if you guys didn't hear about this, Robbie Gould signed a 4-year deal.
Yes, I heard about that.
Real quick,
so
what is your take?
That is huge.
What is your take on that? He got a 4-year deal through 2017. Is that a good deal?
Best move the Bears have made so far this season. First off, he should not have even been in doubt last year when they should have signed. They should have signed him last year.
Right.
So I think you're going to see him back. I think he's going to retire as a Bear. I think these are his last 4 years. I don't think he'll be back. Yeah, watch out. He's going to be one of the. He may break the record for greatest field goal kicker of all time, because these other guys who get to sit in domes all 8 games out of the year, he plays outdoors at least 10 games a year, so 12 sometimes even more. So give the guy credit. He played even when we played Baltimore. How crappy was that outside?
Right.
Granted, he did miss that winning field goal that would have put the Bears in the playoffs, and we wouldn't be talking about it this week. So that did happen. So.
Well, Marty, thank you for coming on to Friday Sports Riot. It's a good time every time you call into the show.
Thanks, guys. Have a great New Year.
Thank you.
Too. That
right.
was Marty Brooks on the Friday Sports Riot on SportsTouchChicago.com. Man, dude, it's a great way to begin the Friday. It's dark outside as we're looking out the window here in downtown Lombard and the tallest skyscraper.
This isn't
that
downtown Lombard, is it?
We broadcast from the downtown, the huge skyscraper, all the classy women walking around. Man, it's a great building here. But seriously, I mean, dude, he like has a great show. Like, I mean, his personality, I never thought he had that comment in him. I was going to maybe think when I asked him about Matt's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because have you seen a picture of her?
Yeah, I've seen her.
She's hot. I was in awe. I'm like, how does he pull her? Like, that's what happens when you get paid big money to play in Detroit. Like, I couldn't believe that he had that joke in him. I was impressed.
I was impressed too. But I mean, he's always a good interview, and he always has really good insight. And like, even though he doesn't do sports as a career, he knows so much about it, and it's really exciting. Like,
that's why I brought him on, because when I met him at the morning show boot camp last year in August, we were just talking about like the Bears, the Cubs, and I'm like, I gotta get this guy on my show. Like, he's so good on country music radio that he would also be good on sports radio.
Right.
Like, yes, he's amazing at what he does on music radio, but if you'd never met him, you would think the guy's like a sport analyst as well. Like, he's smart as hell.
Yeah, he is. And
we're going to take a quick break. If you want to call the show and recap that interview with Marty Brooks of Thunder 94.5, 630-403-5200. That's 630-403-5200. And check out hoppiesroll.com during this 5-minute break. I bought the website, so now it's legit.
There you go.
And yours is Ryan, what's it again?
RyanStupridge.wordpress.com.
Check it out. I will link that and freemanradio.wordpress.com.
And coming back from the break, we'll talk some more. We'll definitely get into some NBA, because there was some cool NBA games last night, and also talk a little bit baseball
and some non-sports, something that's kind of pissing me off, Ryan.
Yeah, lots of that stuff
this,
too.
This is the Friday Sports Riot. Don't touch that dial. Lil Wayne takes us to the break. Back when hip-hop was great.
That's right.
This song's about my dad. We both be stunting, bro.